What's going on, everybody? So I'm here to talk about a new release Shudder original film. I've reviewed a lot of films on Shudder throughout the year, and I always look forward to whenever they put out new material. And I really didn't know anything about the movie that I'm going to be talking about today. I just went into it blindly, and the film I'm going to be discussing is called Who Invited Them? Who Invited Them is directed by Duncan Birmingham. Adam and Margo's housewarming party is a success. However, one mysterious couple linger long after all the other guests have left. The couple reveals themselves to be Tom and Sasha, wealthy neighbors, but as a single nightcap leads to another, they start to suspect these new friends are actually duplicitous strangers. This isn't a concept that we haven't seen before, this whole idea of someone shows up at a party or someone comes into your house that you're not sure who they are or what their intentions will be. And that's what this film is. You have this young couple who buy this house in the Hollywood Hills. It's a house that they really could not afford, and they throw a housewarming party. All their friends go there. You can tell Adam, played by Ryan Hansen, invites his boss there, all these people. He's really like show-offy about like the fact that they have this house and how well he's doing. And his wife Margo is not really wanting to do this. She doesn't really have any interest in it, but he really wanted to show off and throw this party. And you can tell he's kind of douchey and off-putting. And the party goes on for a while and everybody ends up leaving. They're talking about how the party went. And there's this young couple who both of them have seen kind of moving around the house and doing things that they don't really know why they're there or what they're doing. And they're still in the house. And then they start to talk. At first, they really want to like rush him out of the house and get him out of there. Well, then they start to talking. They realize that they're the young couple who lives next door, and they start to bond a little bit, but not everything is what it seems, and the movie kind of progresses on from there. So the thing is about this movie, it really does a nice job at introducing these characters and building that suspense to kind of get you into this world and to start to make your mind question, okay, what do I think about these people? But the problem is, at about a halfway point through the film, you get this exposition of why they were able to get this house for so cheap and what's going on. And the way the dialogue is delivered, you almost immediately tell yourself, well, I know how this is going to end. It's like 100% just kind of spelled out for you right there. And it ends the exact way that you think that it is going to end. And it sort of takes all the mystery away. It takes away any sort of that suspense of, are these people good? Are these people going to be bad? And it really kind of just defeats the entire purpose of the film, unfortunately, where you get to a point where you're like, okay, well, there's no suspense as to what's going to happen. I already know how this is going to pan out. So why continue to watch? And that's what's the unfortunate part about this, because I do feel like there's some okay performances. Some of the dialogue in this is really bad. And I mean, like, when our lead character's talking about his vinyl collection and stuff, it's almost cringy how bad the dialogue is. And it's unfortunate because I feel like I really like small scale character studies in film. I always get really excited to watch a director who is able to build up these really small worlds and just kind of focus on these characters that they've introduced. But none of the characters are interesting enough to really care all that much. And then when the dialogue is really that sloppy, and then for like an 80-minute runtime, when you can essentially piece it together after about 40 minutes where the movie's going to go, it's just really frustrating because you start to ask yourself, okay, why wouldn't they just wrap this up earlier, or why not hold off that information until the very, very end of the film? And so that really sort of defeated the purpose for me, which is unfortunate because there were little bits and pieces of this film that I really enjoyed. When the third act happens, the ending of this film is just kind of baffling. You don't really know what happens when the movie ends. It gives you this idea that it possibly could be in the character's head. There's like this little piece of information that's given to you that you're like, okay, well, what the hell even happened? And it doesn't feel like it aligns with what has occurred through the rest of the movie. It just really kind of feels thrown in there to give you something to hold on to, as far as to like, oh, this is going to keep you guessing. And then there's this plot that exists in the film where you have two lead characters have a young son, and they drop him off at a friend's house to stay. The son forgot something at home, and there's this whole like side arc plot of this woman driving around through the hills trying to like find the house so that she can get this child stuffed animal. And it becomes super frustrating and dumb whenever it cuts to that plot. It's like, I don't really care what's going on in there. And it's really just to kind of shove her into the third act of the film, which was really annoying. I was just like, okay, this was just a reason to add another plot into this film that didn't really need to be there. And by the time you get to it, you're like, okay, this is really stupid. She was just kind of shoveled in there so that this one thing can happen towards the end of the movie. And yeah, I just found this film to be incredibly frustrating. I think it has some decent cinematography. I think there's some okay performances throughout, but for the most part, it just didn't live up to what I'd hoped that it would be, and it was really just forgettable. So have you seen Who Invited Them? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was relatively forgettable and bland, which was unfortunate because I felt like it had a lot of potential and could have been 20 times better than what it actually was. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.